What's going on, guys? This is Carl with the Race Red channel. Out here riding some slushy mess today. I've been thinking about a topic recently that I've talked about before, which I talk about this one pretty often, but I feel like it gets misconstrued, and that is religion. Yeah, the ones I don't know a lot about get off easy, and that would be the Muslims. However, the more I learn about those guys, like I don't really hang out with any Muslims, so I don't really know for sure how they think and all that. But I have watched a lot of interviews, and man, those guys basically believe that if you don't believe like them, that you should be killed. And that's obviously messed up. So that's one part of any religion you should reject. Obviously, you can't go around killing people. And if somebody believes differently than you, that's okay. That's a universal rule. And if your religion says otherwise, then your religion sucks. It's okay if you disagree with me. I don't care. I consider myself to be a Christian, but like I am not dead set on anything. You could convince me with a logical conversation of your views pretty easily. It's not like I'm in concrete on this stuff. I just don't believe like the LDS, and that's okay. I still like those guys a lot. I still like that whole community a lot. That doesn't mean they're being persecuted, that's for sure. The Bible, I can't remember where it says this, but it basically says that you're supposed to kill people if they don't agree or they try to convince you to worship another god or something. And that's the Old Testament. When Jesus came along, he changed all that. Why were people getting that from God before Jesus came? Like, did he just change his mind? Regardless, you know, every religion should be telling you to use your brain. And if they're saying, well, don't use logic, just follow your heart or your intuition or whatever it is, then I would run. We are 100% meant to use our brains, and that's the one thing, like, I'm out. If your religion says not to use your brain and just say, oh, well, I feel this way, no, that's not good enough for me. I'm out. I consider myself to be a Christian, like I said, but that's just because that's the most likely scenario for me. I've looked at everything that I can see so far. Scientology is a crazy one. The Big Bang Theory is really crazy. To believe that nothing exists, no higher power or anything like that, that's pretty crazy in my opinion. Anyway, so the most likely scenario is is intelligent design for me, and if you don't believe that, then that's totally fine. Like I don't mind at all. And if you try to persuade me to believe what you believe, or you have a good argument, I don't mind that at all either. I can definitely, my mind can be changed, I'll put it that way. So that's my summation of religion as a whole, is keep an open mind. If your religion is telling you not to think, then there's something wrong. And personally, I stay away from the ones that have a large power structure, and ones that have you trapped in a cultural web. They give you things to look forward to throughout your life, and they try to capitalize on that, taking a percentage of your income And I've also looked into that stuff, and a lot of these churches, they don't disclose what they do with that money. There could be somebody at the hierarchy that's just flat out taking the money from everybody and using it for themselves. That's sketchy. But you know what's more sketchy is a religion that's like, hey, you should go out and murder everybody who doesn't agree with you. How about you do that? On the flip side of that, there's science. And like I said, science has given the Big Bang Theory, which I think is highly improbable. It's every bit as crazy as believing a higher power. Every bit. It's a bunch of smart people who decided to tell you a story with basically no evidence. Especially when you listen to them discuss it from beginning to end, I'm like, wow, you really withhold a lot of judgments in there in order to believe that. A lot of critical thinking. Personally, I mean, if you believe that, that's fine. But personally, I think there's a huge amount of gaps in there that don't belong. So, yeah. On this topic, I really don't think anybody has the answer. In fact, I know nobody has the answer. A lot of people think we're in a simulation. Like Elon Musk thinks that we're in a simulation, and mathematically, he says that's the most probable. And when you think about religion, God says you have to die to this world to be alive to Him. That's very simulation-y. To wake up in a completely different world to what you really are. That's pretty simulation-y in all of these theories, science included. You'd have to believe that somewhere time is not what it is here. Yeah, science believes basically that there was a crystal, and that crystal changed in form, and that changed into a pin needle, a little pin drop, which then expanded rapidly into the universe. Somehow, in all of that, there was enough matter to swirly twirly around each other and create planets. The entire cosmos was created from a pin drop. And it just came to be out of nothing. And that pin drop, before it existed, was crystal. It crystallized from not only thin air, but there is no air at that point. There is no atoms, there's nothing. So it just popped into existence. So you believe that we popped into existence no matter what. You don't need anybody to pray to your God, that's for sure. And you don't need your God to tell you that you need to kill anybody. You don't need your God to tell you to stop using your brain and just to go off of whatever intuition. That's not what God designed you to do, for sure. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you stopping by and listening to me rant about science and religion while I try out some new settings. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Alright guys, I just wanted to give some of my Patreon supporters a shout out. I really appreciate them. Yucky Don't Eat is my newest one. Daniel Roush, Brian Thomason, Mike Slater, Jason Froling, Jim Jolson Jr., Lance Darnell, Wade James, Kurt Kinghorn, Jared Bauer. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. You guys have helped a huge amount for my channel to grow and to keep making content, and you are appreciated.